as I'm just basically telling the viewers to not watch this episode.
I went to a Korean spa the other day. Dicks out with my homies. Ludwig gave me a call and was like, hey, got an idea. We hit the spa. We go get some dinner.
Just wants to see you cock.
Firm handshake. That's what I'm saying about double rims. Firm handshake.
Yeah, fuck Hasan. That's what we're saying on this podcast.
But if that happened, I would probably get in a fight.
Yeah. So we sucked a couple dicks, man, on camera.
That's your catchphrase for the end of the podcast, Stanz? So I was just saying to Stanz before we started recording, I'm a little hungover today, and I was worried that this podcast episode, I'm going to be honest, I was worried this was going to be shit.
But I'm here to bring the energy, motherfucker.
Because you're so awake and so ready for this also. I mean, I don't have any excuses because it's 4 o'clock for me. I'm just hungover, but at least it's 8 a.m. for you, so it makes sense. You're allowed to be tired, right?
Yeah, it's 8 a.m. for me, and I'm going on a family vacation after this, so I have to hit the road, which means I was like staying up late doing some chores and packing. And
where are you going? And the next line?
I'm going to San Diego, which is just like...
Don't say no. So you're just going to have a boring time? Surely it would be a bit fun.
Well, it's like chill. You know what I mean? It's not exciting, but it's still good.
Yeah.
No, okay. I'm happy with it. I cannot wait to get there.
All right. Well, have a good chill time. I guess you're in the right vibe for it.
I'm in the right vibe for a chill family vacation.
Yeah. We're going to ruin it with this because we have to try and like get awake and we're going to be in the wrong mindset. I'm going to fuck you up. But
right. Yeah.
No, I felt bad about potentially doing the podcast like... And I was like, I want it to be good, I don't want to just fucking phone it in or whatever. I've got to try and wake myself up. And in the drive to the office, I was listening to another podcast, which I will not name and shame because I'm about to talk shit. Because I was listening to about 30 minutes.
It was Joe Rogan.
Thank God. I went through a Joe Rogan phase before I realized how cringe he was because I was like, oh, they've got cool people on there. Do not listen to that shit anymore. No, there was these 4 guys talking. I say 4 guys, you instantly think yard. It wasn't the yard. We're not naming shit.
I was instantly thinking yard. I was 4 guys.
I actually don't listen to the yard anymore. I like the yard, but this podcast that I was listening to is not part of my rotation anymore because of this episode. They were literally for 40 minutes just 4 idiots talking about monkey prostitution.
This is the yard. This is the yard, dude.
It's not though because it wasn't. It was real. Like they weren't talking about a bit of monkey prostitution, which would be a yard bit, and that would be funny. They were like, there was apparently a study done where they gave monkeys currency and then
they would use it to pay for sex.
And they used it to pay for sex. And 90% of the conversation was just one guy going, what monkeys are they? And the guy who was presenting the information would be like, I don't know. And then the other guy would be like, well, I don't believe any of this then. This can't be real. And they were just, but like that, but for half an hour. And it was
brutal.
So awful. They then they finished that conversation, and then one of them went, right, I've got an idea for us. We should discuss the trolley problem. And then the other 3 had no idea what the trolley problem was. And like, unironically, they weren't doing it as a bit. It was genuine. Yeah. They were like, oh, this is an interesting new concept that I've not heard of. And
we're breaking people's brains right now.
Yeah, and then they just did that for like the next 10 minutes. I was like, this is insane that someone could listen to anything. Who's never heard of the trolley problem? I don't understand. Or like had a thought about it before. Yeah, it was just crazy. So after watching
let me cross off monkey prostitution and trolley problem from my list.
Fuck, that was all the ideas you brought to the table, Stanz?
That's literally all I brought, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, after that, I have high hopes for what we're doing because I don't think we can stoop as low as that. Surely we've got to do better than that. So that's our bar for today. Do you think you can?
It's crazy to come into this saying other podcasts suck. We definitely can go above that when I don't know if we can today.
Today of all days. Yeah. Well, that's
it's a tough day.
I would like our podcast to be great. But I've realized all it has to be is better than the shit ones. So that was that's where I was coming into this with like, there's our new bar. Okay, sometimes we can just be better than the shit ones. So hopefully that's today.
Just not shit. All right, I respect that.
So today's episode was actually supposed to be an exciting, cool episode instead of this. I realize I'm basically telling the viewers to not watch this episode.
Yeah, you started with "We're tired," and I was listening to another bad podcast, and also, what if we're not bad?
Yeah, it was supposed to be watching New Moon with Richelle.
Yes.
Doing the whole the issue with that is the extra moving part that is adding Richelle to this. It's like a third person that has to be free, but mainly the fact that we have to listen to the whole entire movie and react to it and then do a podcast. It's like 3 times the amount of work as this is that we're doing right now. So,
and it's less even the work and more of just the time.
Yes, time 100%.
Because it's not hard to watch a movie and then say a few things, but man,
it's also
when I'm sitting there, I'm not getting
movie.
itchy. Well, I wouldn't say fun.
Well,
I'm just
you won't
there
have
going,
fun,
like,
but me and
leave.
Richelle will have fun. It'll be great.
True. You know, she was telling me like, well, yeah, it's really hard. We have to like psych ourselves up for this one because it's really sad. So I don't even think she's gonna see it as fun.
Oh,
I think she's gonna be sad.
So New Moon and Eclipse combine in my head. I've just remembered which one it is after Richelle saying that it's really sad. Oh no.
Yeah.
Because it is. There's like a depression montage in the movie. I'm pretty sure.
Classic.
Which I remember, like the whole.
This episode is our depression montage.
So true. Just take little stills of us, just fucking. You could do, that new emote of you on Twitch, understanding. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where it's just
like
you
this.
nodding and listening to me talk, the like disembodied voice. Well, we could do that, but whenever I'm talking in this, and then vice versa, we'll have 2 emotes of us, but it would just be us crying.
Yeah, because of Twilight.
But yeah, there's a depression montage in New Moon, so yeah, it's going to be fun. It probably would be worse if we were feeling like this trying to watch New Moon.
Fair.
Because
I would take a nap. If New Moon kicks on, I'd lean back. I'd be done.
You can't do that though. You have to
leave my eyes
still
open,
talk about it.
Just kinda...
Richelle will poke you, I'm sure. But this episode was supposed to be that. But we couldn't get Richelle because she's too busy being an absolute baller, I've heard, Stanz.
Yeah, well, a roller, because she is into roller derby and she's currently in Las Vegas at Roller Con.
Okay, that is cool as fuck. That is not what I was referencing or trying to segue into, but that is you were doing the real thing. Where she is actually
that's
there
why
currently.
she's out of town. She's in Vegas doing roller skating things. Yeah.
I was mentioning it because I've heard tales of her like elite basketball ability. Like she's a baller.
Got it.
But
she would never let balling get in the way of Twilight. I will say that.
That's
but
so
yeah,
funny.
she has been balling. Yeah.
But she will let roller get in the way of it.
Yes.
She's been rolling for quite a while now. Is she actually
She's been
like
rolling
sick?
Loud for about 2 years now, something like that. Is she sick? You know what? She's all right.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't start with the questioning tone about your wife.
Because she pisses me off sometimes because she doesn't practice. She doesn't practice, man.
She doesn't practice? Oh, I thought
and
she
then
was
she'll
like
complain.
into
She's
it.
like, I'm just not getting better faster. And I'm like, well, let's go to the park and skate around or something, Like, I'll go hang out. And she's like, no. So
yeah.
I think this is more of like a social club for her.
Oh, for sure.
Where
I
it's
think
like
that's
you
also
go hang
fine.
with
But yeah, if you're
Totally.
getting annoyed at not getting better, there's only one way
But
to
she
get
is
better.
she is really good at basketball and she is like mid at roller skating.
So is she just naturally gifted, or like how is she so good?
No, when she played basketball as a kid, she played on like the high school team and stuff, and she would practice. It's crazy what practice can do. I don't know if I'm upset about this. I guess I am because it's like coming out of me at this point. But she used to practice a lot, which has made her like an absolute knockdown shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like we've got a lot to unpack when Richelle comes on to talk about New Moon. She needs to get practicing.
If she wants, she doesn't need to get practicing, but if she wants to get better, I'm having some issues. And maybe you were in my stream the other day when she came in and revealed that she was trying to quit soda, but she keeps buying it, and that also pisses me off because it's like I can help you. At one point, she bought a combo meal and it came with a soda and came home and she's like, oof, it just came with a soda, And I was like, oh, I'll pour it out.
What was I supposed to do?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, I'll pour it out. And she's like, no. You know the scene where Bilbo's face gets scary because of the one ring? She hit me with a, no, it's mine. I was like,
sorry, am I like... that meals exist in the UK, so maybe it's like a different thing. You get a drink or whatever, but Was there only soda options? That sounds crazy.
She's
to me.
lying. She's not disciplined.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
You could just you could not get a soda
Pepsi.
as the meal. You could get like a different drink, or you could
get a water, or you could just say no drink.
No drink.
Just,
Just pay the price, but just don't have the drink if you're not going to drink it. But yeah, that definitely feels like a choice that was made.
Yeah, and I think this lack of soda discipline has pushed me into the lack of roller derby discipline.
Yeah.
And when I see her absolutely balling out in basketball and knowing that she got there by sharpening the blade, I'm
right. She's got the ability. She's able to. Yeah. She's got the blade sharpening kit in her fucking storage unit.
It's built
She's just
in.
not doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think you're at the level of like, if you want to get good at something, you're going to put the effort into.
Well, you have to. It's the only way, is what I would say, right?
I'm the opposite, where like I just won't. Like I know myself too well that I know I'm not going to put any effort into doing this thing well, so I'm just not going to do the thing. That's more like relayed into like habits and things like that. I thought of it when you were talking about Richelle not wanting to drink soda. I was like, there is a ton of things in my life that I would like to kind of do less of, or just not do in general. Like I've only just started. I never used to drink energy drinks in my life. And I picked up a Monster energy drink like 2 weeks ago, and I've had one nearly every single day since. Because I was like, oh wait, this is good.
Bad.
Yeah,
That's
it's bad for me. It's very bad. And that is something that I should do, but part of my brain's like, there's not even putting in the effort to stop doing it. Feels unnecessary because
you're
I know
drinking one right now, aren't you?
No.
You son of a bitch.
This is me doing the visual thing. I get my turn to do it this time.
I can hear the crinkle of the can. Don't worry. I know what you're doing. Yeah.
The main reason I wanted to talk about Richelle being a baller is because the sheer amount of stories that I have heard from so many different streamers, different podcasts, that is simultaneously about Richelle, but also just the basketball sessions that you guys have in general. It feels like everyone's fucking talking about the basketball sessions. They're like the talk of the town currently.
Yeah, this has been our obsession, our fascination, our like special little thing lately. We've been playing basketball for maybe 5 months, something like that. Like right after, actually, maybe we started in December. God, I wish, it sucks that we've been playing for like 7 months because I wish we were better.
Yeah, but, keeps on going further back. You're like, oh, well, maybe it was 3.
We
it was
played
2
for
months.
6 years, actually, now that I think about it. And we are finally at the skill level where we are like starting to go to pick up games with randoms, even like alone. Because before it was just like social. We go and we all meet up and we play games with each other. Every skill level is welcome. And last night, for example, we all went, but it's busy and we can't get a court for like 5 of us. There's like 7 of us. So we have to break off into splinter cells. And it's like, all right, me and Aiden are going to go play in this pickup game. And these guys are going to go play in that pickup game. And we'll meet back here after, you know? Mercenary style.
You were telling a story on stream about the first pickup game that you like joined with a bunch of randos. And that you were actually like proud of yourself. You actually you did the thing, and you were.
Oh yeah,
I
did the white guy thing. The white guy who goes into a pickup game, they don't know you. They pass you the ball at 3, and this is it. You get one opportunity because white people, they shoot threes. It's what they do. And I knocked down my first 3, and they all kind of nodded their head. White boy can shoot, and it's like, all right, we're good.
That's so
if I ever
funny.
want to join these guys for a pickup game again, they will remember that shot.
Yeah. And it's also crazy because you've been called the Jack Harlow of Twitch. Well, you're the Jack Harlow of basketball now too, doesn't he? Wasn't he in that movie?
White man can't jump, but white man can shoot threes. Yes, I never saw the movie. I heard it was really bad.
I don't have any basketball knowledge, so it would be crazy for that to be the movie that I would go and see.
Right.
Is Jack Harlow even known for acting? Why is he in that movie? I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I think it was just a cash grab. People know Jack Harlow. Fuck it, get him in the movie. But
you just got any white guy that would be.
They could have got me because I am an actor.
So true. You are the Jack Harlow of Twitch, as they say. Was that only just because of the pants that you wore to that the Streamer Awards? Was it just the fit that you were wearing?
No, I think it's because I have curly hair, so people think I kind of look like Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
And then I went on Food Beast to do that cooking competition, and then they called me Snack Harlow, and that kind of like really pushed it over the edge.
Yeah, that was it. That pushed you over the edge. People have been calling you Snack Harlow ever since. Yeah.
There are a few people who call me Snack Harlow.
Is that real?
Yeah, that's like 5. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I wanted to try and get out of you some juice, Stanz.
Okay. Sure.
Specifically, you mentioned to me like some of the people that have been going to the basketball games. And there's got to be some like absolute fire stories from those, right?
Ooh, I'm trying to think. It's tough to have fire stories because we all play so seriously.
I was there's not much time for talk.
Yeah, there's not much time for talk. There's not much time for anything. I'm trying to think of if there are any good stories.
Because Atrioc told a sick story. The thing that kind of made me realize how good Richelle is was the twos game. I think it was Atrioc and Aiden versus you and Richelle. And Richelle just fucking dominated Atrioc, right? Like,
she diced him. It was actually, I was very proud. It was the Stanzas because Aiden's really good. Braylon's just new to the game. He's like just started learning and stuff. And Richelle has played in a little bit, but it's been a while, right? You know, like we're all getting older. And
I feel like for Atrioc, it was more like all of my friends are doing this thing, so I also have to do this thing if I want to see them in their free time.
At first, maybe the first time it was that, but then he played and was like, wait, this is fun. And so now he's been practicing. Yeah, he's kind of gone into the deep end of basketball.
Sure. You guys do that a lot where your friendship group will have like a thing. And I'm
climbing.
I feel like it's kind of spearheaded by whatever Ludwig's into, and then everyone is just doing it for like months, and then all of a sudden not.
I think I am like an uncomfortable person, and I like having an activity when hanging out with people because otherwise I get really anxious.
Oh yeah, I'm also.
And so it's good. It's really good for me, like personally.
Yeah. I'm like that, but so I have a very close knit like group of like 4 or 5 friends. That I'm fine chilling and doing whatever with, but literally you add one more person to that I don't really know, and I'm like, we need to do something now. We cannot sit around just talking because as soon as there is like an awkward beat or silence, I'm like, right, let's go play bowling or something, please, just anything. I don't like bowling, but I just want to do something. So I feel you on that completely.
Yeah, and I guess it was Ludwig. I've always been kind of like a basketball guy. Richelle and I used to play one-on-one in the park, like before we started getting really old and tired. Yeah, and we just like to fuck around and have fun. We watch a lot of basketball. We go to basketball games, just because it's like my favorite sport for sure.
Yeah.
And so when other people showed like even a tiny interest, I was like, yeah, let's go to the park. Like, yeah, we'll play. Or even like, dude, I'll go to the park with you on like a weekday and I'll teach you some stuff. Like I'll teach you how to shoot or whatever.
That'd be really sick. There's there's a ton of it seems a lot more common in the US is what I was going to say, because basketball definitely exists here, but nowhere near like the same levels. I
think if you go to our park on a weeknight, there's 4 full courts and they're usually all full. Like last night there was 4 full pickup games and multiple teams waiting to get on, when a team loses.
That's crazy. Yeah. I know that you're living more like city, right? Rather than
Oh yeah, when you visited, I was in Orange County. Yeah, I was down in the suburbs.
Yeah, I'm not so much where I'm based is kind of more parky, I guess. So it's there aren't necessarily like actual courts and stuff, but there'll be like a group of people playing football is the only comparison that I can make.
I think that would be like a similar vibe. Yeah, it's like they're just going out with their friends to play the game they like.
Because it's weird. I was trying to imagine it. I could be wrong on this. People aren't going out to play American football like casually on a night. Like there's not really something that anyone would do, right? You would do that like if you're doing it recreationally, you would have to be like a full-on organized thing, right?
It's tough because American football is so physical that like the only kind of football people would be playing casually is like intramural or like adult leagues that will either do flag or like 2-hand touch because you're not going to get like laid out on a Tuesday night and then go to work the next morning. It'd be crazy.
And I guess
they're just significantly less popular.
The like comparison for it would just be like throwing around an American football would be like the casual version of that, right? You just go to the park and throw it.
And at the beach people would do that, but it's just not a thing.
You can't do a 1v1 of many sports, but basketball is like one of the goats for that, it feels like.
Well, basketball's great because you can do 1v1, but you can also do 2v2, 3v3, 5v5. Half court, full court. You can do like all kinds of things.
So I think that's why the football comparison works, like British football. I will not call it by the name you call it.
Worldwide soccer, we call it in the business.
Oh, well, we don't say that on this podcast. I need to stop being cringe about that, because it was called soccer first and we call it football. So it should be allowed to
honestly,
be called soccer. But
as long as people understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. I know that's why you were saying it. The comparison there is that it's exactly the same. Right, you can if you have two jumpers that you can stick on the ground to make goals, you can 1v1. It's like, so you don't even need, like, you need a hoop obviously for basketball, but you don't need literally anything apart from a ball to like play football with your friends. So
right, which is why football became the most popular sport in the world, right?
Yeah,
and you don't even need a ball. I've seen people kicking like a tied up bundle of clothes and stuff.
Yes,
you know what
I mean, it literally. I know this is not as easily accessible, but it started off as like pig bladder and shit, right?
Yeah, and at the time that was accessible.
yes, because we just had them actually laying around. The pig bladders have gone extinct because of all the footballs that we've been making.
Yeah. Hey, and in the US, we eat a lot of pigs too.
So true. Did you come up with any basketball stories in your head as we were talking? Or?
You talked about Richelle cooking Atrioc, which was like a very cool, proud husband moment for me, for sure. What else was there?
Because you mentioned Hasan joined for some of the basketball sessions.
Yeah, Hasan joined. I will say, Hasan got to the park and it was like, oh, he's never played with us. We play at this park every weekend for like 6 months, and it's like we kind of like know the vibes. And like he put a shot up and it kind of hit the rim and he goes, oof, bad rims. Looked, he's like, ooh, sun in my eyes. He's like, this place sucks.
What?
He definitely was not a fan of our court.
Hey, novice here, less than novice. Bad rims, that feels like a crazy call out. Is that a real thing? Can you have bad rims?
You can have bad rims. So a normal rim is a single rim. Most parks will have double rims so they don't break, which just means they're a little thicker and there's like it's a little more rigid bounce.
Is your rim
like
a double rim?
Shot will go in. Yeah, almost all parks are double rims. Dude, you must be living in rich person world.
I wish I'd known that you had a double rim before I'd spoken, because now I feel embarrassed, honestly, for you that you have a double rim.
I'm telling you, I don't know anyone who goes and shoots on like a public hoop that's a single rim. I've never seen a single rim at a park that I've been to.
Clearly where Hasan lives, he's got those single rims in his mansion.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then the sun was in his eyes. And then, I don't know. I just feel like he was not excited about it. Game 1, he had Adam, Roguesy. Sometimes you've seen him in my Twitch chat, who's a phenomenal point guard. And they played really well. And then Game 2, he didn't draft Adam, didn't have a point guard. And he was like, next week, I got to bring my own point guard to this shit. And it was like, damn.
He's taking it seriously. That's crazy.
He was taking it very seriously.
That's good though. I like, you need to balance having fun with the competitiveness.
I don't think he had fun. I will say that. I don't think he's coming back. We invited him back. I don't think he's going to.
Oh, that's sad. But I think, for your, like, I'm not talking about other people, like for, if I was going to go, for my sake, like, especially knowing that I have never played an actual game of basketball and maybe only touched a basketball like 10 times in my life, I would obviously be shit. So my level, usually I'm quite a competitive person, but my level of competitiveness would have to be like so low in comparison to my level of willing to just like goof and have fun.
But everyone starts there. We've had people in our games that started like that like didn't know how to dribble, and now they're like getting there, and now they can shoot certain shots or make layups, and anyone can run and play defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
I think especially if you're joining a new group though, you definitely have to like be able to lose and just chill and have a good time, lower the competitiveness, because otherwise it's just going to make it worse for you when you accidentally come across a double rim, which is fucked.
Yeah, you have to be ready for the double rim.
Yeah.
Maybe, I could be coping, and maybe there's more single rims in the world than I think. Maybe I've just been unlucky, but I feel like I've been a double rim shooter my entire life.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know what
it would be like. Imagine your crossbar in a soccer game, in a football game, was like twice as thick.
But that's crazy.
Is it?
Yeah, I think maybe it would have like an extra, like a layer, because twice as you know how thick a crossbar is. Twice as thick.
Yeah, imagine it was twice as thick.
Would be insane. I think a rim is already small, so a double rim doesn't like the percentage change is the same, but it's not the effect that it has. Because on a crossbar, it would like significantly decrease the size of the goal. Whereas I'm assuming on a double rim, it doesn't decrease the...
It doesn't decrease the size of a goal, or I guess imagine if it was like extended forward, like 6 inches. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
just something
but then
different.
that's fine. Yeah. Because if it's different for basketball, because if you're going to miss and hit the crossbar, it doesn't matter if the crossbar's a bit bigger, right? As long as the goal size
a
is
shot
the same.
that might have like snuck in and like hit the crossbar and bounced in might like hit the crossbar soundly and bounce out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it might make... It would be minuscule, the difference, I guess.
Hey, firm handshake. That's what I'm saying about double rims. Firm handshake. You don't play basketball. I don't play soccer.
Get fucked, Hasan. That's what we're saying on this podcast. He's going to hear it. Get fucked. You should maybe practice on double rims and get some in your mansion, loser.
Yeah, and get used to shooting into the sun like we do. Trial by fire.
Yeah. Do you not have sun in your part of LA? What the hell is this about?
It is because we try and play in the evening because it's so hot, or the early morning. The park doesn't open that early. And the sun is, if you go one direction, we have to switch at halftime because the sun is so terrible going one way that like you're literally looking straight into it as you shoot. What else happened to me? I went to a Korean spa the other day, went and fucking dicks out with my homies.
I was not expecting that, especially after I was like, hey, cool stories about basketball. And you were like, oh, I've got a cool story about a couple of balls, but they're not baskets. I'll tell you that. That's
true.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So a Korean spa. Why?
Because so when we went to Japan, me, Ludwig, Richelle, we met up with Connor Dog, Sea Dog VA.
Yeah, and you went to an onsen.
He showed us around. Yeah, we mentioned it, and we went to many onsens, and it was this cool experience because you go and you like shower off, and then you get into this natural hot spring water, and you relax and you vibe and you hang out. And
you're missing a crucial part there, just to be clear. If people don't know what an onsen is.
It's like a big like hot tubs, hot baths that are natural hot springs.
Yeah, I just don't think you mentioned that you fucking get naked as hell.
Oh, you have to be in the nude. Yeah, you don't wear anything going into the onsen.
To the point where it's not like a recommended thing or like you can do, like it's a traditional, like it's disrespectful if you don't kind of vibe. Right?
You actually are not allowed to go in with clothes in Japan because it'll like dirty the water or whatever. In the US, there was like one guy who wore some shorts at the one in the US. And it was a Korean bath, and I don't know if those are different, but everyone else is naked. But we hadn't had that experience since we went to Japan, and it's been a year and a half now. And so Ludwig gave me a call and was like, hey, got an idea, boys' night. We hit the spa, we go get some dinner, we go do some karaoke.
Bro
we
just
like,
wants to see you cook. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
after all the comments he made from like all the vlog footage and stuff that I've edited through of you going to Japan, he wouldn't shut up about wanting to see your meat. Which is
he's just a curious little Andy. Like he's the only one. We were a larger group of people.
He wasn't the only one that wanted to see my cock.
I mean, no, I'm saying he was the only one. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
Either way.
Well, that'd be good.
Either way, and so we went to the. I don't know. It's not called an onsen if it's Korean, but we went to the Wee Spa, which is where Conan O'Brien went for his TV show.
Oh,
there's a video of Conan O'Brien and Stephen Yeun doing like the spa thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was very pleasant and fun. And I am historically not a weekday activities guy. It stresses me out. On weekdays, I stay home, and on weekends, I do activities.
Okay, interesting. You said
stupid.
Historically, I don't think, as someone that, I know that you like work weekdays and stuff, but like, I didn't know that you didn't like doing things on weekdays. Why is that a thing?
I have a really weird like mental block because I had a strict parent who, if it was like, I'm going to go hang out with friends or go to a movie on a weekday, I was like, not on a weekday. Like, oh yeah, maybe if you're back by like 6 p.m. Yeah.
Interesting.
And only a couple times. And then I just internalized that and stopped asking. And then I lived my life never doing weekday things. And so
the
weekdays
barrier has been placed in your brain. You can't do it differently.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even a real barrier at a certain point. It was on my own. And so when you go 20 years without doing things on weekdays, you like someone asks you to do something, you're like, oh, I don't know. It's a weekday, buddy. Like I kind of have to like do my thing.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm the complete opposite, by the way. Like I don't understand the difference in days. For me, I'm like, I will happily work all weekend and then have all the week off. Like I'll do opposite. I'll mix and match, whatever. Just because I have, as you know, an unconventional job. So if any of my friends are ever free at any point at any hour, I'm like, yeah, I'll go out and do something with you guys. I can just do my work at a different hour. because I can just work whenever. So
you've done reverse schedule, and not reverse meaning weekends, weeks. You've done reverse schedule, aka the night shift, a lot lately.
Yes. Yeah. I've been specifically, it was actually really funny. So it was partly because my sleeping schedule was already kind of fucked. And partly to try and record Binge and Cringe with Richelle to do New Moon. I'd made my sleeping schedule completely opposite. So I was like waking up at midnight and then it was a bit earlier than midnight. I think it was like 10
p.m.
And then going to bed at like 8. No. Wait, when would that be? I can't remember. Anyway, it was flipped, basically. I was only awake at night, essentially. And then Stanz had forgot that it was fucking July 4th. So I was like, well, that's okay.
Well, I was down. I was like, hey, can you do it Thursday? She's like, yeah, we could definitely do it Thursday. And then on Wednesday night, I was like, hey, you still good for New Moon? She's like, well, tomorrow's the 4th of July. And I was like, well, yeah. Like, who? So? Yeah,
but I also understand. I wish I'd realized, because I would have said, hey, I just realized that's July 4th. That's Independence Day. You've got to do fireworks and shit. Are you sure?
Yeah, I guess.
It's fun. If I was celebrating leaving the UK, I would also fucking want to release fireworks and stuff. Yeah, that'd be great. I completely understand. Sorry, I interrupted your getting your balls out with your bros story.
So I'm not the kind of person who would like do things on a weekday, but I get the call and I'm thinking, you know what? This is my opportunity. I'm going to step out of my shell and the things, and I'm going to go do a thing on a weekday. And so we go to the Wii Spa and we get into the nude and we do the hot tub and then we do the extreme hot tub. They do the cold tub. I don't do the cold tub. I'm not a cold water guy. Oh. We do the steam bath.
I feel like
we do the fucking
it's
sauna.
like part of the process, though. You going hot, cold, and then hot is kind of nice, right? But
the cold is not nice. I skip the cold.
Yeah, but it makes the hot better. And also, I think it's got like healing properties, I've heard, and shit. I don't know any about mumbo
I don't
jumbo,
believe any of that shit. Maybe, who knows? But all I know is I put my feet in the cold one and I was like, no, this is horrible. I paid money to come here. I'm not doing this. Yeah.
That is, I would probably do the same. I think I would get peer pressured into it more. If everyone else was doing it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't mind. But after we went to the spa, which was fantastic, rejuvenating and stuff, we went to this bar and they have these iPads at the tables. And the theme of the bar is like challenge other tables. And so you could play these games against other people, but you had to wager booze. And we had Nick V from the yard with us who doesn't drink. And so we put him on the iPad duty and other tables were challenging him. He was challenging other tables. And we won like 11 bottles of beer / soju just because he was owning these kids because everyone else is drunk. And they're like,
that just
challenge
sounds
him.
amazing.
It was super fun.
What the fuck? So at which point, by the way, did you put your clothes back on? Because this bar sounds crazy.
I'm still nude at this point, to be perfectly honest.
No wonder you were winning so many drinks from everyone. They weren't. They were just buying you the drinks.
Yeah, they liked what they saw, if I could be crude.
So what kind of games was it? This bar sounds fucking sick.
There was like, the games were actually simple. I wish they were a little more complicated. One was like a memory game where there was a grid of like 9 with different symbols. And so you would pick one.
Like nursery games.
Yeah, you would pick one and then they would pick that one and then add one, like Simon. And then you would pick those two and add one and to see how far you could get. And we just owned in that. You know the game where you like stack things in the middle? They like go left and right across the screen and you have to drop it in the middle so it makes a tower. And whoever knocks the tower down loses. Yeah, it's like an app. We played that one. It was pancakes against a lot of people and owned them. And then there was just pure games of chance, which we still ended up winning. It's like a pachinko.
Dude, it's like proper, it's like gambling but with skill and for alcohol. This is like...
Our only regret there was that we couldn't gamble on food. Yeah, you could only gamble on alcohol. It was only beer and soju, but it was like, damn, if we could gamble on some like loaded fries right now, we would never leave this bar.
That would be brutal. Man, that's very sick. You're gonna have to next time I'm in the US.
Next time you're down, we'll go to fucking
for sure.
Chi-Chi's.
That's like sounds like it was made for me. That's amazing. And we'd obviously just get free drinks all night, which is also sick.
Hopefully, but you drink, and so do I, so we would just lose. You know, like I think our advantage was in having a non-drinker for sure.
We'll just play the RNG one, the one that was no skill.
I respect that.
After we get a bit too drunk. Because speaking of a bit too drunk, I got way too drunk last night.
Yeah, you started this call saying you were a little bit hungover.
Yeah. So I've been to quite a few concerts recently.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
I went to go and see the Foo Fighters in Birmingham.
Cool.
I think it was Birmingham. Yeah. And it was actually really sick because it was the last concert of this tour that they've been going on in the UK.
Is this where he talks shit about Taylor Swift? He's like, hey, I at least sing my music.
That is the tour that he talks shit against Taylor Swift. I don't know. I like Taylor Swift. I also like Dave Grohl. I feel like he didn't really understand I think he's just being a rock star and being like, fuck everyone kind of vibe. I don't think it was a personal thing. I don't know. I don't really care. Because I like both of them. So I'm just imagining it didn't happen.
Fair.
So I went to this gig and it was the last one of their tour block in the UK. So they did like quite a few cool things. They brought out a guy from Black Sabbath and played one Black Sabbath song, which was really sick. They brought on Taylor Hawkins' son. Sorry, I should have not paused because the first thing would have been insane. It was because I don't know how much about Foo Fighters you know. Taylor Hawkins has passed away recently. He was the drummer of Foo Fighters.
Got it. So they brought out Oliver Shane Hawkins and they let him rip.
Yes, Shane came on and he was amazing. Were you Googling? Is that how you knew the son?
Of course, yeah.
I was like, that was crazy cool.
I was like, who is this kid? Yeah.
They brought him out for a song, and it's insane how like similar his drumming style is to Taylor Hawkins, whose drumming style was similar to Dave Grohl. It's like I think Taylor Hawkins...
It's been passed down.
Yeah,
it's like the Avatar.
It must be just in his blood because he's like amazing. I don't know. You've just Googled him. How old is he? Because he's...
sorry,
I know he's like young.
Is 17 years old right now.
Yeah, and he like is playing stadium tours and doing better than I could, which isn't saying much because I've not touched a drum kit in years. Sure. Like better than most drummers in the world could. He's not like good for 17. He's just like amazing. Just yeah. And I remember seeing clips of him playing at the. They did a tribute tour for Taylor Hawkins or like a concert, I think. And it was obviously very, very sad. And when his son came out to play, that was the first time he'd played with them. It was at this gig. It was fucking amazing. So I was like, oh, I missed that opportunity to see Taylor Hawkins' son play. And then I get to see it at this gig, which was very sick.
Yes, that is very sick.
Yeah, it was. I don't think there was like a dry eye watching. It was so like emotional, which is crazy.
Contextually, that is big.
Yeah, because Foo Fighters, they have a couple of like emotional-ish songs, but most of them are just like moshy, headbangy songs. And he was playing a fucking essentially dance number. Like the crowd was going crazy, but also crying because of how sick it was. Yeah, it was very cool. Cool. But at that gig. Hey, Stanz, if you want to know, never go to a concert at Villa Park. Don't do it.
What? Okay, I won't. I won't go to one at Villa Park. What's Villa Park?
So it's like a huge onsen, and they just make you get naked before you go in.
Yo, give me 2 tickets.
And then you fight against other people and win drinks.
Dude, that's actually the greatest concert I've ever heard.
Yeah. No, it's just a football stadium, and they haven't done many gigs there. This could have been the first gig that they've done at Villa Park, but I don't know. So they clearly didn't have their shit together. So you could obviously have seated tickets in like the stands, but the whole pitch was like covered, and that was where the standing tickets were.
Right.
And that's where we were, and we were maybe like 3 or 4 songs into the set, and I was like, I'll go get a drink from the bar. Because he started playing like some of the lesser known songs, but also like the bar was in the stadium, so I could still like hear and look at the stage.
Right, yeah, you didn't have to like leave completely.
Yeah. So I go and join the queue, and the queue's maybe like the bar's quite long, but there's like 5 people's worth in like crowded around the bar. So I'm thinking I'll get served like maybe half an hour, like at max, because that would be bad, but because it doesn't look like it's moving quickly. But I'm like, half an hour seems like a fine judgment, and I'd be happy with that. I'll get like 4 drinks. I was only there.
You
with
were
my
setting
friend
expectations low. Did they allow you to buy 4 drinks as an individual?
Yeah. You can buy as many as you
Oh my
want.
god! In the US, you can only buy 2 per person.
That's so funny. They do not care about that in the UK.
Oh yeah, it's at least at most venues that I've been to. And so sometimes I'll be like, "Hey, my people are sitting right there. Can I please just get 3?" And then they'll be cool. But
Right.
yeah, I think they're only supposed to sell.
Oh, that's
2 per
interesting.
person.
Yeah, no, they had
per person
like
per trip.
Yeah, they had 4 like like you get
A tray that you put 4
takeaways.
in.
Yeah, they had like the 4 tray that you'd stick 4 drinks in purposefully.
You got
to drink it.
Chinese.
Yeah, and they were selling Chinese as well. People, actually, we didn't say it wrong that time. They're selling a Chinese person.
Yeah, it was actually there's a big problem in Villa Park.
Specifically in Villa Park, it only happens there.
Yeah.
It was weird. They should maybe stop doing concerts if they're going to include human trafficking.
Yeah, human trafficking. Sure.
Everyone was lined up. I was like, it's probably going to be half an hour, whatever. And I'm queuing up, and I'm noticing that the queue is not going down at all, and like people are barely moving. No. And then I get to a point where I can kind of see the bar, so I can see what's happening. And when I tell you it is the worst layout for anything drinks-wise that I've ever seen, bro.
It's like they're playing Overcooked. They have to dodge alligators back there.
It was
What's going
like
on?
someone on Overcooked was like a 3-year-old that had designed the layout, and so this was the setup, right? So you pay at the like bar bit.
Sure.
But all of the people, there's like maybe 15 people across this long bar taking orders, which is a lot of people. That's a good amount that would be taking your order. You pay them.
Go fast because most people are getting a beer. It's just you fucking just
Exactly. Just a beer. Yeah. Well, even 4 beers. It's like there was only 2 options, so it wasn't very hard. It was just beer or cider. That was it. That's all you could get. So you order from them. They take your money, and then they turn around and just wait for the drinks, because there are 2 stations where you can get these drinks from. Literally only 2, one for the beer and one for the cider, and each one of those stations has 3 pumps to it. So they can only make 3 drinks at a time, which seems okay if all you're doing is constantly pouring the drinks. But the people pouring the drinks don't know how to pour fucking pints, so they'd pour, and it would be half head, half drink, and they'd put it down, and they'd pour like 3 of them, and then top up all of those, but not top them up all the way, and then just keep on doing it. So there was literally, the bar didn't exist for people to order drinks from. The only thing that was happening was all 15 members of staff were just staring at the people making the drinks, waiting for them to be handed a pint to then hand it to the person that they paid like 10 minutes ago. So
that's brutal.
Absolutely insane. It was an hour and 15 minutes that I was waiting for my drinks.
Dude, that's the length of the concert.
That's what I was thinking as I was in the queue. I was like, thank God the Foo Fighters are doing, surprisingly, a Taylor Swift, and they've got like a 3-hour concert that they're putting on, because otherwise I would have just missed all of it. It was crazy.
Yeah, you would have. Honestly, you don't see many concerts nowadays that go longer than an hour and a half for the main act.
Yeah.
And so like if an hour and a half, 15 in line is crazy.
It was crazy.
And you'd already heard some songs from up there, so you already wasted.
Yeah, and then I got to see the last half an hour of the gig. Like, I bookended it, so it was actually okay. But
your friends were like, "Where the fuck did you go, bro?"
Yeah, it was I was only there with one guy, Will. He ended up having to come and try and find me by the end, because he was like, not only am I worried because he's been a while, but like I trust him as an adult to exist. But he was like, maybe he's like fallen over and died or something. Like, I need to go and find him.
Sure, got arrested. Yeah.
But so I'm second in the queue, about to get my drinks, and it's been maybe like an hour. And the person both of the people that are in front of me in the queue have both pushed in front of me. Because the way that like the line works is that it's basically, if you're closest to the spot that ends up like moving in front of you, you can slide in there. So if the spot was slightly to my right or slightly to my left, the people that were behind me slightly to my right or slightly to my left could like slide in front.
Sure.
So it was like pushing in, but also I wasn't slightly to the right or slightly to the left, so I couldn't really claim it. So it was like the kind of pushing in that I just kind of had to accept, socially, even though in my head
I thought Brits were good at queuing, bro. Isn't that your thing?
This was the worst setup of all time, especially Brits that are like annoyed because they've been in a queue for a while. They are the worst. These 2 people, I vividly remember them being behind me. Because I heard them singing a song, and I was like, "Oh, I've never heard this song. I'm surprised people are singing along." So I like turned around and looked at this person, and then she was in front of me. And she'd already got served, I hear the person in front of me has ordered 4 pints of Moretti, the beer.
And you know what that's going to take. That's going to take some time.
I'm looking at the Morettis, and there's like 7 people waiting, like 7 members of staff waiting to just pick up a Moretti from this place. Right. But the Strongbow, the cider, no one wants it. No one gives a fuck, but they're still pouring them. So there's like 12 just full pints of Strongbow
sitting
sat
out
there waiting for someone to go and pick them. So I shouted to the guy who was just stood there waiting for Moretti. I was like, hey, I just want 4 pints of Strongbow, and there's like 12 just sat there. You could
just hand them to me.
You could pay me. I could pay you, and you could give me them before you would have got the Moretti anyway. And the guy, you can see like the cogs were whirring in his brain to see like, is this cringe? And he's like, I don't think this is cringe. So then he did that for me.
That's amazing.
So that was nice. But then the person that pushed in front of me had the audacity to shout back and go, oh, is that what's happening now? People can just shout and order their drinks. And I was like, you pushed in front of me. And she was like, yeah, we've all been waiting for a long time. And I was like, yeah, I've been waiting longer than you. It was crazy. And I was like, also, this doesn't affect you. You've also already been paid. It was, you've already like had your order. You're going to get your beers. It was crazy.
Yeah, that is a nightmare. It
was a nightmare.
The sanctity of lines is something that is big for me, which maybe it shouldn't be. But if that happened, I would be fuming. I would probably get in a fight, honestly.
I was close to, especially with it being like as long as it had taken.
You've been there an hour. You're missing this concert that you probably paid a lot of money for. Foo Fighters' last tour date in UK.
Yeah, I was weighing up how worth it would be to like get really pissed off at the people. But I was like biting my tongue, and then she shouts at me. I was like, you're crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's all leading into the most recent concert that I went to, which was to see Catfish and the Bottlemen. Who I assume you haven't heard because they're not like that popular of a band.
Catfish and the
What's crazy is I think I've got the person right. Sheep for Hire, your mod on Twitch.
Yeah. Okay.
He knows Catfish and the Bottlemen, as in like has heard of them, and they're just like a UK band. They haven't really broken into the US at all. But I was talking about them, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I love that band." I was like, "What the? How? How do you even know they exist? They're like my favorite band."
If you go to their website, their logo is them doing the old onsen tug.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. Have you provided? Oh, you have the onsen tug. Yes, that's the artwork for their first album, The Balcony. They are doing the onsen tug. I guess I'll put it on screen for you guys now. Audio listeners, you're gonna have to check it out because there's no other way to describe it apart from the onsen tug.
So true.
The cousin to the Olsen twins. So I went to go and see Catfish and the Bottlemen, and their concert was just in a park. And it was like, it was set up like a festival, but the only band that was on was Catfish.
Okay, interesting.
They had like openers, but like there wasn't any other stages. So the bar queue was way better designed, but still very long because lots of people were going to the bar.
Sure.
And then right next to it, there was an organic cocktails queue that had no one in it.
Cocktails?
Organic, yeah. I don't know why they were organic, but that's how they were advertised.
I don't even know what that means, to be perfectly
Neither
honest.
do I. I don't know I guess all the things were sourced organically, but I don't know. It's alcohol. Well, I don't get it. So anyway, I went in that queue, got a mojito, and it was like £9.50, which is expensive, but the like cans that people were ordering were like £6.50. So I was paying £3 extra to get to skip a whole entire queue and get my drink really fast. And no one seemed to be wanting to pay that extra £3. They were all just fine queuing up and getting the drinks that they wanted. And I preferred the cocktails. So I whenever I wanted, I could literally just take like a 2-minute trip to get a drink and come back like in songs. So I was getting a lot of mojitos last night.
That's it. And that's why you feel so sick today.
Yes, that's why I'm really hungover, especially because I was making the most of the moment, because this, unlike the Foo Fighters gig where it was the last one, this was Catfish's first gig back. They broke up, and this is like their returning tour. They broke up.
Dude.
But they're back together. I think it's half the band, though. I think it's only the main guy and the bassist.
So they're not really back together. This is still broken up.
Yes, but they sounded so fucking good. And And I had no idea until like going there that it was their first gig back. I'd assumed that they'd like gone on a couple of like stints on the tour already. But dude, it was amazing. So I'm surprised I still have a voice to be able to even do this podcast. I was surprised because I was.
Some might call you a hero.
Yeah, I've managed to soldier on through. Whereas you've just. You're tired because you just woke up. I'm tired because I'm a soldier, Stanz, you know?
Yeah, well, we did play 3.5 hours of pickup basketball last night.
Only 3? Wow.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah, only 3.
And I bet you're going to tell me it was on a double rim, which obviously like half the amount of time.
Yes, we only go to the same park. Hey, I respect
Wow.
my neighborhood. I'm not one of those guys who leaves those who fucking got him there. I go to my neighborhood park and I play there with my neighbors.
Those who got him there, you're acting
Yeah.
like you're playing on the basketball court you grew up with. You're not even in the same state.
Double rims. Double rims is double rims, buddy.
Double rims is double rims. You actually transferred the rims from Arizona all the way to...
Yeah, you know, because people have such an issue with rims and nets, they make these devices, maybe you've gotten an Instagram ad for them, where you like throw it on and it adds a rim. It's like a magnet.
Okay, why would you think I would have got an Instagram ad for that?
Because everyone gets Instagram ads for them, even if they don't play basketball.
You're targeted. You are definitely getting the Instagram
I'm
ads.
telling you, I've seen people
my
talking
ass ain't
about
playing
it.
basketball, bro.
No, for me, it's all jump programs. I'm getting targeted for jump programs. They know I can't do it. Yeah.
Wait, as in literally they're like, oh, white guy that likes basketball? Here's how to
Yeah, for
jump.
sure. I think it's like the easiest targeting of all time. White
That's
plus
so
basketball
funny.
equals teach them how to jump. Yeah.
Yeah. I still, whenever you talk about like learning things in basketball, I keep on remembering the story you told about the Reddit kids that are like 5 years old.
Yeah,
that
they're all
teaching
5
shit.
years old. It's
Yeah.
so fucking funny. Yeah.
I just imagine you like analyzing their like footwork and stuff when they're 5 years old.
I want to get a basketball coach straight up, but I'm scared that if I go to a group session, it'll
all
be
be
me and
kids.
children. Yeah, so it's like, do I have to get private and pay more money? I don't want to pay that much money.
Yeah, I guess the hard part about that wouldn't necessarily be like the lessons that you'd be getting, because I think it would be great. It would be that you can't really play against any of the kids. Like the
Yeah,
the
well, I
aspect
could,
of-
and they would cry.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's video footage of adults owning children that we talked about last episode.
Can I run you by a basketball video that I've been thinking about?
As in like a concept for a video?
Yeah, so we've talked about the Kobe Bryant thing, right?
Oh yeah, the training,
666.
doing their morning routine and seeing how much it like affects you. and stuff.
Yeah. So Kobe Bryant famously would do 6 hours a day, 6 days a week for 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
And I actually can't do that. Like I'm not a professional athlete. I don't have that much time in my day. I cannot do 6 hours a day.
I remember you looking into that on stream and
realizing,
being like, wait, but that you looked in like 7 different articles because you were like waiting for one that was true, because you're like, that can't be real. He can't
Or
be
I was
physically
honestly just
doing
looking
that.
for exactly what it was. Like you can't do 2 hours of sprints, you know?
Yeah.
But here's what I'm thinking. I can't do 6 hours, but that was his only job. I have 3 jobs, right? I'm a streamer. I work at Off-Brand.
Oh, so you
and I
third
play
it?
basketball. I'm saying a third, 2 hours a day. Well, not 2 days a week for 2 months. But I think 2 hours a day, 6 days a week for 2 months, doing 1/3 of it could be good enough.
Interesting. Oh, so
2 hours a day is already a lot.
but you'd still do 6 days.
I think you want to say a third of it, 2, but like doing 2 days a week is not going to be enough, right?
Well, then if you're using that logic, then doing the other bits as a third isn't going to be enough.
2 hours a day of working out is going to be enough. That's massive.
Hey,
They
if his
scale differently.
technique was so sick, then doing 2/3 of everything should be fine as well. I don't know. But I also think that would be okay. I think it would be a fun video for you to do. I just don't think the audience is there on
I
your
agree.
end.
But I think it'd be fun for me to do, and I could get better at basketball, and I have an excuse to do it.
And you can claim a lot of shit on taxes if it's in the
True.
YouTube video.
That's a write-off. That's a write-off, baby.
Yeah, I saw, I don't know how I was getting recommended these YouTube shorts, but it's if this woman who's an accountant and her whole entire thing is just listening to people say things about taxes and then pausing the video and going, that's wrong, they're an
That's
idiot.
not true. Yeah.
And it was, a lot of them were like this person saying, if I show this thing for 2 seconds in a YouTube video, then I can claim it off on my taxes. And she paused the video and go, no, they can't, they're an idiot.
Yeah, it's definitely not true.
But she also didn't like then elaborate or explain. Like, So
that's bad
she didn't do
content
the
then.
teaching part. She just went, no,
Right.
that's bad. But like, there's certain things that you can buy for work that would be a tax write-off, right? That then
of course.
you can, and YouTube being your work, if you're buying something for a YouTube video, that would class as a tax write-off. So, but then,
Right. But I think the thing is like, hey, showing it on stream, you can't just like hold it up. Yeah.
But then where's the line? It would have been great if she'd explained more, is what I'm saying. She was cringe.
Fair enough. Hey, if you want to be an
less
accountant,
hater
tap
energy,
in.
and that's coming from two haters ourselves.
I'm not a hater. I'm a lover only.
I'm not saying you're not a lover, but you're a hater, bro.
No, I'm a realist.
Bro played fucking hundreds and hundreds of hours of a game just to be like, yeah, I hate it. But the only reason he was playing was so that he could say, yes, now I can definitively say I hate it. Which is crazy. You could have just said that before, dude.
No, because what if there was something in the process that made me realize, you know what, I love this?
I would say there were bits in the process that, like, there were times I think you were genuinely were like, yes, I love this. Like there were moments, fleeting moments where you were playing the game where you were definitely having a good time, right? But I don't think that means that, like, that doesn't equate to you actually liking the game. I think that's fair.
Agreed. Yeah.
Brother,
I think we're nearing the end of our show.
Yeah, we are. The only other thing I wanted to talk about is maybe should definitely not be the end, and would be a bit longer.
Right.
So we're not going to talk about it.
Biden. Is he malfunctioning?
It's actually worse. I was like, we should talk about the sketch situation because of how horrible it is, but we won't touch on that.
Well, to be clear, not how horrible it is, how horrible people have treated him.
Yeah, that's the situation.
Yeah, I know what you feel about it. Yeah,
sorry, when I said it, I wasn't meaning
I know, but just to be clear. Yeah, just to be clear, people could hear that and think something. So
yeah, if people have listened this long and they don't understand that, I would what side I would be on.
His response was God tier, so funny.
Yeah, very sick. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about this another time. It probably won't be relevant by the time. So whatever. We're with you, Sketch. Fuck it, all the haters. The main thing actually, whilst we've already fucking started, so I'll just say this bit that I think is so sick. Despite people, it's sad that they were already like anti-LGBT, but seeing people go, damn, hearing about Sketch has made me change my opinions on gay people, and I think they're kind of cool now, which is crazy, but I'm glad.
Yeah, you're like, this shouldn't have had to happen this way. And also, what does that mean about before? But you know what? If we got there, we got there.
It's never too late to not be a piece of shit, but it still doesn't make you being a piece of shit like okay.
And we should appreciate when people do realize that and like be grateful and help them on their journey.
Because it would have been so easy. To be clear, Queso and Jinxie aren't the people I'm talking about that were saying like, oh, I was against gay people and now I'm not.
No, they were just cool.
They were the reactions from those people are the reason that like there are people that are going, oh, I hate these people and now I don't. So it's very sick that everyone around Sketch has kind of been very positive and like showing that there is nothing wrong with it. It's crazy that they have to, right? It's crazy that it's even a thing, and it's so sad. And that's kind of why I didn't want to talk. I know I talked about it. I know I brought this up at the end of the podcast.
You brought it up, buddy.
I didn't want to end the podcast on a downer, but we've ended it on a downer because it's sad that exists.
Well, it's no downer. It's like everyone's supporting, not everyone, but a lot of people are supporting him, and he's still making content. And he has said that there's like a weight off his shoulders. He doesn't have to worry about this like dropping randomly. And so I think we are at like a better place.
I hope so. And the saddest part is the outing without his consent.
Yeah, it's just like happened to him.
But the fact that it is out now, like you said, I think the silver lining is that it's a weight off his shoulders and that his friends support him. And anyone that doesn't is a piece of shit, and fuck you, because it's the most insignificant thing. It's crazy people wouldn't support him. Also, if you don't know what it is,
it's less than insignificant because it's not bad. You know what I mean? It's
that's what I mean. It's literally that's what I was saying. Like it's literally nothing.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just so some people are like, it is just a small thing, and it's like, no, it's not even a small thing. To be clear,
it's not a thing. Yes,
it's not a thing. Yeah.
Sorry, we've talked about the whole thing. If you don't know the sketch situation, I'm sorry, but it was only like 5 minutes of the podcast. Google it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So we sucked a couple dicks, man, on camera.
That's your
Hey, man.
catchphrase for the end of the podcast, Stanz?
Yep. So that one is, I'll tell you who that one's from. Sketch. No, his was like, you might be looking at me differently. I got a haircut or whatever he said. It's so funny. Yeah.
And then I did not have sexual relations with the man. Maybe I did though.
Maybe I did.
Oh, fuck. And then
Whatever.
walking up. Yeah. He's so funny.
Seeing people lip sync that on TikTok has been so funny.
Oh, I haven't seen any of that. That's
Oh
sick.
my god, yeah, a lot of people are like duetting it or using that audio and like lip syncing. It's so funny.
Yeah. So I hope he's still got as many bright things in his future, and that like the big companies that were endorsing him keep on doing that, because fuck them if they're not.
The real conversation here should be about the Conrad's pants tweet, because there's actual conversation to be had there. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it today because I got to go.
True, I did see that, and we're not going to do it today. But
it is interesting.
It's interesting. I don't think we're the two people that should be having that conversation. But
Sure.
That we also are the two
Richelle
people
would
that should
say
be
I am
having this
allowed to have that conversation.
Richelle would be. You are a beacon of. Anyway, see you on the next episode. Thank you for listening. You've already done the catchphrase. I forgot.
Yeah, I've already done it. Something by.
Something by. Wait.